Okay, so I usually start these by asking, how many typing sessions of mine have you seen before?
Uh, I've seen a few, especially yesterday. I kind of crammed a couple.
Okay, cool. And when did you first get into typology or learn about MBTI types?
Uh, about 6 years ago, I uh, I had an ex-girlfriend that got me into it. She wanted to know both of our types, so that kind of started it. I got like a broad view. I haven't dug too deep, so I've watched your channel over the years as well. Just a lot of different channels. I've been typed by a few other people too. I know you don't want to know that yet, but
Okay, so yeah, don't tell me what it is. It's good to know
yeah,
that you've been around the block a few times.
yeah, and they've all got different types. So
Your typology cherry is well popped.
yes, it is.
Okay, can you talk to me about the last time you went out of town on a vacation?
Yeah, I don't do that often.
Okay, can you talk to me about the last time you went out on the town for an evening of either dinner or movies or bowling or something like that?
Um, I've been to dinner a couple times, but it's nothing special. Just out for dinner, maybe a drink or two. Probably about a month ago, and then but I went to a concert probably in like October.
Okay, can you tell me about that concert?
Yeah, it was Duran Duran. Um,
Hmm.
it was a really cool concert. It was at the I live in Vegas, so it was at the hockey arena. So that was the first time I got to see that as well. It was pretty cool though. The band was great. Didn't like the other band. I think it was some like jazz band or something. That's really not my thing. But yeah, overall it was a nice time. Had a couple
Um,
drinks, even though I don't drink much. So
can did they play Rio? Hello? I lost you. I don't know what happened. Well, maybe it's a mystery that will never be solved. Rachel,
Yes.
listen for a sec. This guy went to a Duran Duran concert in October. And he's frozen for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But I'm gonna ask him if they played Rio.
Yeah.
Hello? I don't know if he's aware he's oh now he's gone. Okay. Now he's coming back. We would hope that he is coming back and not gone forever. That would suck. I mean, suck. Just
there you are.
okay, cool. So, did they play Rio?
Yes, that was actually
They
one of
did.
the first songs they played. Yeah.
Did they play everything you wanted them to play?
Yeah, mainly what's that song? Uh, dang. It's mainly the radio songs. What is that song?
Is it
Ordinary
Unreal
World.
World? Oh, Ordinary World. Okay.
Yeah.
So, because
Yeah.
Rachel saw Duran Duran and they didn't play Rio.
Well, that sucks.
Right. Yeah, she was a little upset by that.
I don't blame her.
Okay. Can you tell me what sort of things you generally do for entertainment when you're not going out? Do you like to putter around the house, watch TV? What?
Yeah, I play guitar and not at the house, but I also take singing lessons. And then I just honestly, it's a lot of research, just scrolling through personality type stuff or researching anything, like anything that comes of interest to me. Like it could just be like something somebody brought up someday that piqued my interest, or just something I might be trying to, change in myself or life in general. And I'll end up picking something up like diets or, best way to exercise, just little things like that.
How long do you think you stick with those things?
Uh, I think I get like depending on how interested I am in it or how deep I go into it, it's more like a thing where if I get really interested, I can go pretty deep into it and like stay on it for a while, but I do lose interest pretty quickly. Um,
Okay.
it
Would
does
you ever be
shift.
interested in something like astrology or numerology or, tarot?
Um, so basically, almost every girl I deal with is into that stuff. So um, if it was just me and I didn't meet those people, no, not at all. But there,
I'd give you the exact same answer.
yep, yep. INFJs, ENFPs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's basically what it is. I kind of have like a little belief in numerology now from it. I see like certain numbers all the time now, but I don't know if that's my, what is that? RAS. Um, but yeah,
I don't know what that is, but
reticular
you
activating system or something like that. Where like
okay.
if you see a car that, when your girlfriend drives or someone you meet or something, and then all of a sudden you see that car over and over again. So I wonder if
Right.
that's like the number thing for me now.
Well, sometimes it could be that, but sometimes it's not. For example, one day I heard about pickleball for the first time,
Yeah.
and then gradually started hearing about pickleball all the time. And if I were to say, therefore, I think pickleball is blowing up, somebody would say, no, no, that's fallacious. You're doing that thing you described. But in
Right.
reality, that was exactly what happened. Pickleball was blowing up out of nowhere. It made sense that I'd never heard of it before, and now it's like huge.
Yeah, I
So
think I
you
kind
never
of try
know.
to explain it away, but there is some stuff starting to like have me believe in that a little bit because it happens so often, and then I kind of get into it. Like I noticed myself taking pictures of license plates. That's because I see 444 all the time, like everywhere. So, like,
What's
yeah,
your life number?
3.
Hmm. What do you think seeing 444 all the time is trying to tell you? What's the omen or
I've
whatever?
heard it's basically like you're on the right path. I haven't looked into it too deeply. I've kind of gone with that definition of it. So it's
Hmm.
basically what it is. Like your angels are with you or something like that.
What is life past path three supposed to be all about?
Uh,
You don't know.
I
Okay,
really
yeah.
couldn't name it right now.
You got kind of like a boyfriend's understanding of things.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Not too
So,
deep.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So, are you interested in other kind of personality things besides typology?
Hmm. Uh, I get into like mental illnesses, stuff like that, but that's about it. Yeah, that I really spend any time on.
Okay. Now let's go back to your guitar playing.
Yeah,
Do you work on covers, like learning songs that other people have written? Do you write your own
yeah.
songs?
I'm more of a cover person. Uh, just stuff that I like, and then I fiddle around sometimes. I've only been playing for 2 years, so I'm still kind of learning it. So it's a lot easier to play things that you can like learn off of YouTube or whatever. Um,
Sure.
yeah.
Do you play with
I,
a pick?
yes. But I do like, I am trying to be finger style lately. I have learned like certain, like what's that song from, I can't remember. I can't remember the song, but yeah, I am trying to do finger style more often now. But pick,
Okay.
yes, most of the time.
Okay. Do you have any goals related to that? Like you'd like to maybe play in a band someday or anything like that?
I wouldn't say it like anything starts out as a goal for that. It was more like I was just interested in the guitar. I really enjoyed it, and um, then I kind of always messed around with singing. Obviously just the normal stuff in the car and the shower and stuff like that. And then so I decided to take lessons for that, and So now kind of with like what my teacher's been saying and stuff, I've kind of got a goal for that in the future, but I don't really I don't have any like real idea of when that can happen. It would have to be to where I felt like I was proficient enough on the guitar and singing, so I wouldn't kind of make a fool of myself with it.
Do you think you're learning things in this from the singing teacher? Like, do you think you're singing that, as you apply the things that the singing teacher tells you to do, that you can tell a difference?
Um, I think I'd be wrong if I said no. There are some things, but a lot of it's more of like what I pick up, like off of YouTube or just stuff like that, like checking out YouTube. It's a lot of YouTube channels that I'll surf. So I'm kind
I
of like
see.
it helps me to when I am checking these things out like on my own time. I think a lot better because there is a lot of repetition with the singing teacher. So it's just a lot of scales and stuff like that, and that can only take you so far. So
Is
just
that
those.
what you were hoping to get when you got a singing teacher?
Uh no, I was hoping it would be like there would be a lot more like she would have a lot more like diversive uh diversity with like different like ways of doing stuff or like you know just not just all scales because that only goes so far and I just figured she would have had more like choices to like or things to teach me. A lot of it just feels like it's by the book kind of thing.
So,
Anyone could do it.
do you think maybe you would have been happier if she had tried to find different songs that were in your wheelhouse or range?
She does do that. She does do that. She plays piano while she teaches me and stuff. And now she's kind of opened it up more to where like I'll have a certain song I want to play or that she decides that might be good for me. Because it's really hard for me to sing songs or play songs that I'm not emotionally like invested in, like throughout
Okay.
the years or whatever. Stuff that I like get personally like yeah, just invested in. To where like I feel like I have to be emotional like when I'm singing or else it doesn't it's really flat.
Okay, so let's pretend that one of the songs that you have a kind of deep attachment to is Hungry Like the Wolf. Do you have a deep attachment to that song? Insert whatever song you do feel that way about. Um,
Ordinary world.
Ordinary World, sure.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific, like, I was standing with Judy and it was after a high school football game, and we had spent the whole game screwing around outside playing, flag football, and then that song came on. Is it like
Mhm.
that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
A
And
lot.
do you remember how you felt in that moment when you're re-singing it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And how do you feel right now?
Uh, I have it didn't bring me back to it or anything, but it's more like the song kind of initiates it, like just hearing it and stuff.
Okay, but I mean, forgetting that song, changing gears abruptly, how do you feel right now in general?
Um, well, I've been dealing with like a lot of sinus issues and stuff, so it makes me really tired. But overall, I think like I have like kind of like a general malaise um, day to day where I don't feel a lot of joy or uh, I haven't really had that feeling at all that much over my lifespans, but I'm very melancholic a lot of the time. When I'm at work, though, I'm pretty. I get moody.
Okay, and how much do you think that links to what happens around you in life? And how much do you think that just is your nature?
Hmm. A lot of it is about what happens, or like the course of events, or something that happens personally. Um, Sometimes it's just if I wake up and my body's not feeling good, it can make me like generally have that kind of feeling the rest of the day, unless somehow it changes somehow. maybe someone changes it, or doesn't give up on me or something when they're trying to talk to me. But usually they'll have to be pretty personal with it, like actually show they care or something.
Okay. So you think that you're more likely to be impacted emotionally by physical discomfort or what have you than you are directly by some kind of maybe having your feelings hurt or whatever?
Emotional.
Okay.
I don't like pain either, but emotional definitely stands out for me.
Okay. And do you think that in general the world is kind of an emotionally bruising place?
Yes.
All right.
Actually, not necessarily. There are things that can get me down, like you know, if they show on news or stuff like that, the way people get treated or something like that. But overall, it's more personal experiences for me.
Okay. So do you find your personal experiences tend towards bruising personal experiences emotionally?
Emotionally, yeah.
So can you recall a time not too distant past when you did feel joyful, happy, like you say you're not feeling right now?
Like I'll have little moments, where I feel pretty good, optimistic, stuff like that. I'll get in a good mode or whatever, and I'll just start feeling like stuff's going well. But I generally fall back into like a just that kind of feeling if I don't continue, like if I don't continue moving forward, like with health and like walking and things like that, I can fall back into like my old habits of just being pretty melancholic a lot of the time. It's not always, but overall, because I spend a lot of time by myself when I'm not at work, so I can kind of just be in that state of blah.
And do you think that's by choice or
um, it would be hard to say it's not by choice these days, because I just go so much off of my like how I'm feeling in the moments. So um, I do have to make a concerted effort to not feel that way by like investing in my health, like by walking or changing up a diet or something like that. Like if I'm not doing something for myself, then it can get like that pretty easily.
all right, can you break down the task of cleaning the kitchen into 5 steps?
Yeah. Obviously like get all the dishes put in the dish sink, clean those. Then I would get a broom, make sure everything's swept up, um, clean the dishes, put them away, wipe off the countertops, just wipe everything off basically. Yeah, dishes, counters, and floor.
How many steps was that?
3.
It's supposed to be 5 steps. Let's try a different task, okay?
Okay.
Can you uh break into 5 steps having a piñata at a children's party?
uh, Calling the pinata place or going down there, getting buying the pinata, bringing it home, hooking up the pinata wherever you're going to put it. Make sure you have the stick, and then you're set.
Okay. So how many steps was that?
4.
No, that was actually 5 steps.
Driving
But
home.
okay, yeah, you had 5 steps, but as I suspected, it was kind of accidental. You didn't really keep track of the steps. Okay, fine. So, let's say you're home and you realize problem like this, where this because Eric being done, uh, which is the number one cause of many things, many bad things.
I'm sorry, Eric, real quick. You're breaking up a little bit. I just don't want you to have to keep saying it without me catching on.
Okay, I'll repeat right here. So
There we go.
let's say you encounter this problem with the door. This won't close. Oh no. I
Right.
have to push here to make it close. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say pretend you've got that problem with your door.
Yeah.
Do you continue doing what I do indefinitely and never fix the problem? Do you fix the problem promptly? Do you call somebody else to fix the problem or something else?
I would definitely do what you were doing first. I would try to basically use my strength to do it, see if it budged. But then I would probably,
No, let's say it's just like this. It does work like that, right? You
yeah,
can push on it and then turn the thing. Is that good enough for you? You're just never going to fix it?
yeah, it's good
Or,
enough for me as long as it stays working. And then I'll take care of it when it is basically has to be done. It
okay,
won't open
gotcha.
anymore. Yeah.
Well, let's say it does now cease to work entirely for some reason. That you just can't, no matter how hard you push it, you can't latch it. Walk me through your process of fixing it.
Yeah. Like I said, I would probably try to just fiddle around with it with my hands, or see if I notice something that maybe I could use a screwdriver or whatever, and just see if I can kind of mess around and get it. Because that's what happens to me a lot of the time. Like, I'm not very handy with that kind of stuff, but I notice like I can kind of tell what it might need, and then but if it gets past like my knowledge, or if it stopped, or if I can't make it work, I will either maybe go to Lowe's or something, ask them what I should do, and then get the parts, and then probably watch YouTube or something and do it.
All right, cool. Can you talk to me a little bit about the media you consume when you're not learning anything from the media?
It's a lot of I like to watch reaction channels, like music reaction channels. Um, Not a big like Facebook or Instagram person, so it's just like it's kind of stuff to either make me laugh or like stuff that emotionally hits me, like music and stuff like that.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask you some TI questions.
Okay.
If all torches are propane and I am propane, am I necessarily a torch?
Yes.
No.
Oh wait. Gotcha.
Okay, now let's try another one. If some cards are red and some red things like baseball, is it necessarily the case that some cards like baseball?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay. If only Egyptians build pyramids and I'm Egyptian, do I necessarily build pyramids?
Yes.
No.
No.
No, because even if only Egyptians build pyramids, it doesn't mean that all Egyptians build pyramids. I can try one more of these. If no penguins like cashews and I like cashews, is it necessarily the case that I'm not a penguin?
No.
Yes, it is, but that's fine. All right. Now I'm going to ask a couple of genealogy questions.
Okay.
So, can you tell me who my mother's husband's sister is in relationship to me?
Your aunt.
Yes, correct. All right, cool. Now let me transition to some extroverted intuition questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to have a new invention, and I want you to come up with some names for it, okay?
Okay.
It's a guitar that has built into it a harmonica on this extendo arm thing.
Okay.
So you can close a little flap on the guitar, it just looks like a guitar. You open that little flap, you pull out this harmonica, attach this extendo thing, and you can put it in front of your mouth and play guitar and
Yeah.
harmonica at the same time. What do you want to name my invention? We need a snappy marketing names for it. We need several.
Um, Hartar.
I like it. I like Hartar. It's a good one.
Harmonica. That's horrible. Geez. That's about it. It was kind of like a just a relational thing.
You can call it the puff and strum or the blow and pick, puff and pick. You could call it the guitar harp. You can call it any number of different things. They have to be good ideas.
Yeah, that stuff would come to me a lot easier if I had like time to think about it, and I didn't. Like, for some reason I feel like I have pressure on myself. I'm putting pressure on myself. uh Huff and puff, that's great.
Okay. Well, can you tell me some ideas that you have about changes you might make in your own life besides like diet, working out sort of stuff or whatever you were saying? But that any other kind of ideas, like say, I'd like to build a gazebo in the backyard or things like that.
um yeah, there's not a lot that's coming to me. um Basically
Would you
it's
like to
all
get
just stuff.
married?
Get married.
Yeah.
I used to feel that way, but I don't really feel that way anymore. Like, it would have to be like special circumstance, special person.
Have kids?
No, I'm 42 now, so that's kind of given up on that whole thought.
Okay. Do you have a pet?
No.
Do you
um
want a pet?
no. I do like pets, but I don't think I don't I don't like them enough to where I'd want to bear the full burden of taking care of them, and like, having to go through that whole death process with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
You skateboard? I see a skateboard back there.
Yeah. No, that's I'm at my friend's house right now. That's her daughter's.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'll break your
Um,
kneecaps.
all right. Yeah, well, me
Get
too.
up there.
I tell you what's three, 4 words, but almost always end in disaster. Let's go ice skating.
Yeah, it's been a while, thank God. Yeah, no thanks.
Okay. Can you what's one question here? All right. So can you talk to me about your relationship with procrastination?
Yeah, I'm pretty bad with that. Uh, I'm definitely a person that, like, I get stuff done when it has to be done, and but when it has to be done, I can get it done like that, like, no problem. I might not want to do it, but I will do it and get it done. I'm good with like getting stuff done when it needs to be done. But for like overall for me, like personally, like not like paying bills or like taking care of certain things like that, uh, I procrastinate a lot. Like, I can have a dirty room for too long. It's like when I get the energy and the overall motivation, like, and it'll just pop up one day and I'll just do it. That kind of
Okay.
thing.
And
Yeah.
then will you make an effort to keep it clean for a while?
Yeah. But yeah, it's short lived, especially like going to work. I'm a bartender, so I have to constantly be just chatty and social with people all day. So a lot of the time when I get home, I just want to relax. And since I don't have I think if I had somebody with me that, you know, like a girl or a wife or whatever that lived with me, I'd be a lot more like clean with that kind of stuff and conscious of it. But I can be unconscious with it. Like I can think like, oh, let me just take off my clothes. I just got off work, change into something else, and I might just throw them down or something. But there will be a week period to where I keep it clean, but then it'll slowly like build into an avalanche of clothes or something.
Okay. When you're cooking, do you make an effort to use as few dishes as possible when cooking and or to clean while you cook, or do you just say, you know what, screw it, I'll clean it all up when I'm done?
Um, when I was younger, I definitely would just leave it, but now I would probably still leave it. It just depends on like how I felt in the moment.
Okay.
There's some times where I'll just clean it all up, and then there's some times where I'll get to that later. Just depends on how I'm feeling or my mood I'm in, and how
Okay.
tired I am.
So now let's talk about, let's ask this question. The other day, I was supposed to get up Saturday morning and do a typing session at 7:30. I got up at 7:15, so I missed the calendar alert, which went off at 7.
Mhm.
And I started watching cartoons, forgot all about it. And anyway, I missed it. I had to reschedule it. That made me very mad at myself. I was super mad at myself. Can you give me a comparable example from your life of something recently that made you mad at yourself?
Hmm. I don't think it's like a particular thing. It's more like the situation I find myself in. Uh, just not like I've been wanting to get a place of my own, but I got like this minor fear of like doing it, and I don't know what the fear is, or just something that makes me not want to push to have my own place and stuff like that. So I do get mad a lot at my situation that I've like let myself be in with
So
just like
where are you
first,
now? Who are
uh
you staying with now?
I'm still staying with my parents right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's who Rachel was living with before she got with me.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not that that's the thing too. It's not that I can't do it. I make plenty of money, all that kind of stuff. It's just like there's something that like has kept me in this comfortable state that I want to stay
well, I will say you're likely to slay a little bit less puss at your parents' house.
in. That's for damn sure, buddy. It's rough. Can we go to your house?
Okay,
Been there.
so um, I feel pretty confident that I know that I don't. If this, I had to come out here because it's so it rain's kind of crazy. There's so much noise on the windows. I had to check
Yeah.
out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's really windy out here.
Where are you?
Vegas.
Oh, that's right, Vegas. Yeah, I'm in California here.
Yeah,
Um,
we get all your stuff just
uh,
afterwards.
yeah, it's a couple days
Yeah.
later.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so can you tell me the can you tell me about how you think you changed over the years? Then I'll ask some value questions.
Okay.
So how do you think you've changed over the years?
Um, a lot of it's blended together. Um, but I think I've changed in like it doesn't seem like a lot, like, but I do pursue like changing myself for the better. Like that is a big thing for me, is that I've always like stayed in my comfort zone kind of thing. And it's not good for me. It messes up relationships, it causes issues, all that kind of stuff. But it hasn't been enough to make me, it's like I have to do it for myself. And a lot of the way I changed is I take care of stuff. Like I take care of my bills. I make sure I go to work. I used to not like working at all. I'd work for like 3 months somewhere, quit, maybe take a break for a while, get another job, quit, didn't really care that much. But then I realized like I had to take care of business. Like And even if it feels like it's not like getting that much done, like I still am pretty proud of myself. Like, going into therapy, things like that, like trying to do things for myself, to better me. But
You
basically
say
taking,
that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, just basically taking care of things. The issue I'm trying to do now is to actually go over that hump, move out on my own and stuff like that right now.
When you say staying in your comfort zone harms relationships, what do you mean?
A lot of it is just this weird thing that I got going on with staying at my parents' house. Um, I don't know if that's a personality trait or, like maybe a disorder from how I grew up or whatever, but there's something going on with that, like a fear of like uh leaving my family right there, even though we don't even have like personal relationships. I'll go in my room, I'll just be sitting there all night, put on my headphones, kind of just block out the noise. It's a pretty rough household, just constant yelling, weird stuff like that. So I kind of just like,
Well, I mean, that's a good reason to leave if it's not a pleasant environment, that's for sure.
right. I have left twice, but it was always like moving in with a girlfriend or moving in with a friend, stuff like that. And it usually had to get to the point of where I had to blow up with one of my parents or something. Um, and then I ended up back, but it's like doing stuff for myself. Maybe growing up completely. I don't know. I think that might be what it is. Like actually taking that last step.
See,
Yeah.
well, until I heard that they were yellers, I was thinking, nothing inherently bad about staying at your parents' house and saving money, but you don't want to stay in that kind of environment.
No, it's really bad for me. I've never
Okay.
been one to mesh into that environment. Like everyone else seems to be able to like mesh into it in the house, like their personalities, but it's just not my. Ever since my stepdad came into my life at 8, he's like a real loud New Yorker kind of guy, and they lie constantly, or not necessarily, but bullshit, and constantly yelling and very like hyper with cleaning and all that kind of stuff and putting you down. So yeah, it's. I think some
Oh,
of it's probably self-esteem.
oh, that's horrible. Criticism kills love.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I feel, man. It's horrible.
Okay, so let's talk about some values then.
Okay.
Um, do you feel let's talk about other people in the world. What value do you think it's more important they uphold? You
Okay.
think it's more important that they uh, do shit, get shit done, or that they can see the truth?
Oh, see the truth. I definitely
Okay.
value that more.
How about see the truth or be kind?
Uh, be kind.
How about be kind or be fair?
Hmm. Be fair.
All right. How about be fair or be reliable?
Hmm. I'd probably be reliable.
This is for other people in the world dealing with you or other people.
I would want them to be reliable. Yeah.
Okay. Um, how about socially graceful or efficient?
I think I value like socially graceful to me.
Okay. Um, do you feel that you have a good understanding of how someone else is feeling based on their body language, facial expressions, and other nonverbal cues?
Overly. Like I walked into my counselor's office yesterday. Literally, when I walked in the door, she was looking at her computer, and I just heard like this like a lower tone in her voice, and I asked her like immediately, like, "How are you doing?" And she almost like flipped out, like, "How do you know?" Yeah, I pick up on the slightest little. I'm over observant with that kind of stuff. Like
And are
I
you
open the like I work at a bar, and then so we have a door that doesn't automatically open. So I have like a little switch that I open it up. I'm the type of person, like, I'll see people driving up from like across the street, and I'll know who it is or whatever. So I'll know what drink they have. I'll open the door before they even get there, and they're always like mind blown. And I'll have their drink ready, kind of thing. It's weird.
okay? So you're hyper aware of the presence of others where they are and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think some of it has to do with my upbringing with my stepdad, because I
Okay.
was always hyper aware of where he was at, like when I could go downstairs, stuff like that, because I didn't want to fight or argue.
Right. That's horrible.
Yeah, it sucked.
Um, when you've been in a relationship before, when you're sleeping together,
Hmm.
are you aware of whether or not your sleeping movements and stuff might bother her?
Um, a little bit, but I'm more made aware of, like, because if you're sleeping, you don't really know. But I will try to not like take up too much of the bed, but I'm not that aware of that.
Okay, cool. All right, let's play international microphone.
Okay.
You have the microphone, and you've got advice to give to the whole world, up to 30 seconds worth of advice, and it will be broadcast into everybody's ears directly and translated into their language. What do you have to say?
Yeah, so that's really hard. That's something I'd want to like think about, but if I'm just going right now, um, it'd probably be a lot of like just like advice about taking care of each other, or like, not living for living for the moment, like taking care of just their life now, and um, taking care of the people that they love, and showing love, and like really, um, yeah, it's a lot of that mumbo jumbo. Like
Okay,
there'd just be a lot of optimistic stuff, like with love and um, living in the moment kind of thing. Yeah.
okay. Do you think that is that something you'd like to do more of, living in the moment, or do you think you live in the moment currently, or what?
Um, so in my head, I feel like I'm everywhere. I feel like I'm in the past, I'm in the moment, I'm in the future. But the way I actually emote it, I'm living in the moment most of the time. Like
Okay,
that's the most important thing to me, is in the moment, because that's where I get like a lot of my sensual pleasures, I guess.
okay.
Is through.
Vaping.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, like, before you sat down for this conversation, did you get yourself a beverage?
Yes.
Okay. Um, okay, what else I want to ask you? All right, now let's talk a little bit about values that you think it's important for yourself to uphold and see if those differ a little bit from your answers for others.
Okay. Um,
So, do you think it's more important for you to be reliable or to be impactful?
I think it's more important for me to be impactful.
Okay. So, and what do you think the difference between reliable and impactful is?
Impactful is like, um, kind of making somebody's day better, or um, yeah, just like getting something done. Maybe they need help, or I need to get something done in the moment, or whatever. Uh, Reliable is just always, sticking by your word, or
Okay.
the stuff you're going to do, or you said you were going to do.
What do you think it's easier for you to uphold, reliability or impact?
Impact, because it comes and goes. Reliability, that can come and go too, actually. It just matters how much you like stretch yourself with each of those. But I'd say impact's easier for me.
Okay. Because it doesn't require as many actions.
Yes. And do you think impact could also be a part of being reliable? Like maybe you're making an impact on somebody by being reliable?
Oh yeah, I mean, sure. It really kind of depends on what someone values, right? If they're
Right.
looking for
Right. Yeah.
consistency over time, or if they're looking for a lot of impact in a short amount of time, it depends on kind of what they're dealing
Right.
with as well, you know.
Right.
All right, can you tell me a story of a time when you were working as a bartender when you had this encounter and it made some impression on you? You really felt like you learned something that day.
Um, yeah, not really. Um, my job is, even though like stuff can happen differently, there's a lot of just repetition. So a lot of the times I'm just like, I already know what I'm going to do and I just do it, kind of thing. I'm a random burst of energy kind of guy. Like I can get stuff done real quick, take a break. Then when I need to do something else, I get it done real quick and take a break. Uh, but like
Yeah.
impacts, not really. There just really hasn't been something that I can say that was very impactful for me there.
So not a story, for example, that maybe some patron told you that really left the mark on you.
Um, it is nice there. It's not like a single story, but I do like, I get a lot of the stuff that I need from there. Like, I'll get a lot of validation, or like, people telling me how I make their day, stuff like that a lot of the time, or take the time out to talk to them when they really needed it. Just things like that. It's not like one big thing, but it's just
Okay.
a lot. It's a lot of that. And I'm pretty surprised. Like a lot of people like me. And sometimes I feel like I'm so moody. I don't, I'll know when someone likes me, but sometimes there's gray area and like I won't know, but then like they'll come up to me like later and like just act like they're my best friend kind of thing. And I'm just like, hey, how's it going? It's weird. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, they felt you shared a moment and they
Yes.
assume it has as much impact on you as it does on them. And
I
probably it does,
there's a lot of times where I try to get, yes, I do try to make an impact. Like I had a, okay, so it's not necessarily on me, but I think I made an impact on her. There was like an older lady and we had talked a week. So we had talked, her son, she told me that her son, I guess he has diabetes and he had gotten blood transfusions. Like he has to go like 3 times a week or something. And so I just made it like my personal thing to like talk to her about it, see how she felt about it, like listen to her, and so she got to get it off her chest. I do like to give advice, um, and so I was kind of just trying to make her be okay with it as best as I could without like over um, encroaching on her. But then, so we had that talk. She felt great about it. She actually got pretty happy about it. And then, like a week late, so he told her that he was going to stop doing the blood transfusions, that he just wanted to let go because it was too much on him. He just didn't want to be here no more. And then, like, we talked, and then, like, 3 or 4 days later, after he said all that, and then we talked, he ended up, like, falling at some bank line or something and hit his head. And he ended up dying like that. So it wasn't even him, stopping the blood transfusions and all that. And she just told me it really helped her that I talked to her and all that stuff. So I feel like I made an impact, like with the things I talked to her about, and kind of with her accepting it. Because then when she came back, I gave her a hug and stuff like that, and she just felt, even though she was sad, like she felt like more of a sense of relief, and like she was seeing the more optimistic side of it. Um, that he didn't have to suffer. She didn't have to watch him go through all that other stuff, like slowly, you know, having all his organs shut down, all that kind of crazy stuff, you know. So I think it impacted her a little bit.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. You answered my question.
Okay.
How comfortable are you if the roles were reversed?
No, not that comfortable. I kind of shy away from it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Uh,
Gotcha.
it is hard for me to hear people compliment me, or I don't necessarily handle it that well. I'll kind of be like, thank you or whatever, but I enjoy it, but it kind of makes me more shy or something, like in the moment.
Okay, cool. So, is there anything that I haven't asked about that you think is worth me hearing about that might be relevant to your type or for any other reason?
Um, so yeah, I'm not going to say the other ones yet, but so I am kind of understand. So here's a weird one, and I'm almost guaranteed I'm not this type. So I took the Myers-Briggs probably like 20 times or so. I got INFP every time. Every time. Everyone laughs at me when I tell them that. And I see it now. I think it was hard for me to see myself outside of me. Um, so I was more feeling the emotions I feel on the inside compared to how I actually like emote on the outside world. Um, so yeah, I do feel like I've been getting a lot of extroverted. Both the typing sessions I've had, I've extroverted cognitive function. So it was kind of throwing me for a loop because I am very much like a hermit kind of person. I do like to get out, but it usually has to be with like a girl I like, or basically that's it most of the time. Unless I really want to go out, then I'll be like, let's go out with friends or whatever. If they call me, a lot of the times, if I don't feel like doing it, I'm not going to do it. Uh, it has to be when I want to do stuff, unless I really feel like I need to do it to kind of keep the friendship going or the relationship in a good place, kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel very certain I know what type you are. And
Yeah.
INFP is definitely not correct.
Yeah.
And, we all have a lot of emotions, and how much we're sort of stuck in our emotions really has a lot to do with what's going on in our life. And for some people, it has a lot to do with what has gone on.
You're
It took
right.
me a long time to get out of some kind of emotional turmoil after my parents' death. It took me a year or so. So
Yeah.
anyway, I feel very, very confident in telling you that you're an ISFJ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I will explain to you why. First of all, your TE test says polar, pretty clear cut. Okay, about as clear cut as you can get a TE polar test that say yes. You're clearly SI, not NI, because you reference your experience a lot. You can give me lots of details. You're you frame things. You have your story, where you were, where you come, and all this stuff
Yeah.
in between, and you think it's determinative of yourself rather than some other thing. Ultimately.
Yeah.
And then you're pretty clearly F above I. I mean F above T, and I would say definitely FE, not FI. Your description of how you engage with people in the bar and stuff, and your awareness of where people are, and sort of having this greater natural ability uh, to adjust to what they want. That's very epi. Very FE tool as well. Your TI test somewhere either it tests neither 7 nor 1 nor 2. That's the best I can do with the TI test. So that means it's either 3, 4, 5, 6, or 8. Okay. Your NE fourth slot is very consistent with the test results. It's better than polar, but not great.
Yeah.
And then as far as values go, that valuing impact and your ability to distinguish between impact and reliability so easily is very consistent with some kind of SDOM, either SI or SC. Seems very obvious to me that you're not an SC DOM.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you prioritize a lot of SI stuff. Like you got yourself a drink before you sat down here. That's something SI conscious people do. And NI conscious people probably don't. Maybe fourth slot NI, because then they got extra kind of conscious utility out of, absolute valueness out of the fifth slot function.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so everything's consistent with ISFJ. I feel highly confident that's what you are.
Okay. So I'll just tell you what they said. So both of them typed me as SE DOM. One was ESTP and the other was ESFP. But the people that said I was ESFP, they give you an alternate type, and they said look into ISFJ.
If they can't tell the difference between ESFP and ISFJ, then what in the world are they doing calling themselves typologists?
I know. That was the cognitive personality theory or whatever on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then the other one was Mongolian mindset, the ESTP.
We never heard of that one, but
okay.
Well,
yeah,
this is why
they
it
were,
matters to test functions,
Yes, they were not clicking with me. Like, of course, like 50-60% of it would click with me, but I'll definitely look into ISFJ now. Take a deep look into it.
Well, unlike all the other people, I've done myriad tests on myriad people, and I know exactly what TE polar looks like. The answers you gave when I asked you to break things into a certain number of steps, and I gave you 2 chances at it. On neither occasion did you keep track of the number of steps.
Yeah.
And that's textbook TE polar.
Yeah.
So, and then when I check other things for consistency with it, it's all consistent. There's nothing misleading going on there. Yeah, and the thing is, these skills that I've tested against multiple people, so I know the different kinds of answers,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you do.
So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. We got 3 minutes left. Any last things you want to say, or questions, comments, concerns, complaints?
No, it's all right. I appreciate the work you do, man. It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks
you
for your business as well.
Yes,
so
sir.
Are you comfortable with me publishing this, or do you want me to share with you privately?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
Upload it as soon as it's done processing, and I'll publish it for probably later this evening.
Okay. Have a good night, Rachel.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Later.